We'll also have some discussions around the confusion and myths with the fat burning zones, as well as address, can you actually target certain areas of the body to pull fat from based on exercise choice? It's gonna be a fun and interesting one, and maybe even a little bit controversial. So let's jump right into this anatomical awesomeness. So a few quick key points when it comes to fat. Fat is often referred to as adipose tissue, so I'm going to use those terms interchangeably. And adipose tissue is found in various places throughout the body. Some of the main places are deep to the skin, or this third layer down that is called the hypodermis, or the subcutaneous layer. It's found surrounding organs, within the liver, and even some fat can be stored in skeletal muscles. But the area that we're typically the most concerned when it comes to where fat is that hypodermis, because that's superficial or on top of the muscle, and generally we like our muscles to be able to shine through. So the idea is if that hypodermis or that adipose tissue is a little bit thinner, it's going to be easier to see a rippling biceps or a rippling rectus abdominis muscle. And just to be clear, the street term for rectus abdominis is the six-pack muscle, and you are in luck because all of us have one of those. It's just whether or not the hypodermis or that adipose is thin enough for us to see it. So let's now cover this idea of, is there an actual fat burning zone that we should get into? And is there an ideal or best type of exercise that gets us there? And for us to best understand that, we do need to talk about the energy sources that our working or exercising skeletal muscles will utilize. And that primarily is either carbohydrates or fats. I say primarily because there are certain cases where we can use proteins for energy, but the studies and the data we're really going to hone into focused on this ratio of carbohydrates to fats being burned during different types or intensities of exercise. So for example, we're going to see that somebody doing some form of exercise or a certain intensity, they might be burning 70% fats and only 30% carbs at that type of exercise. And then we might flip-flop it to another intensity, and we might see that changes to 80% carbs and 20% fats being utilized.